Ethan had always been good with his hands. As a mechanic, he could fix just about anything, from rusted engines to broken brakes. But lately, life hadn't been kind to him. His small garage was struggling to stay afloat, and bills were piling up faster than he could pay them. Still, Ethan refused to give up. He worked long hours, determined to provide for his wife and 2 young kids no matter what. One sunny afternoon, as Ethan tinkered with a stubborn carburetor, the sound of a sleek engine pulling into the driveway caught his attention. Looking up, he saw a gleaming luxury car glide to a stop outside his garage. Out stepped Sophia, a woman dressed in a sharp business suit, exuding confidence and authority. "Hi," she said, approaching him with a polite smile. "I think there's something wrong with my car. It's making a strange noise." Ethan wiped his greasy hands on a rag and nodded. "Sure, let me take a look." As he examined the vehicle, Ethan couldn't help but feel intimidated. This wasn't the kind of car he usually worked on. His clients typically drove beat-up trucks or old sedans. Sophia's presence only added to the pressure. She carried herself with an air of importance that made him nervous. But Ethan pushed those thoughts aside. He reminded himself that no matter the car or its owner, his job was the same: to fix problems and make things right. Ethan popped the hood of Sophia's luxury car and began inspecting the engine. His hands moved methodically as he traced wires, checked fluids, and listened carefully for any unusual sounds. Despite the pressure of working on such an expensive vehicle, Ethan focused on what he did best: solving problems. After a few minutes, he turned to Sophia with a calm expression. "It looks like the issue is with the alternator. It's not charging the battery properly, which explains the noise you heard." Sophia nodded, though her eyes betrayed a flicker of concern. "How serious is it? Will it take long to fix?" "Not too bad," Ethan replied reassuringly. "I can replace the part today if you'd like. You should be good to go by evening." Relieved, Sophia smiled faintly. "Thank you. I really appreciate it. I've got meetings all afternoon, so this couldn't have come at a worse time." "No problem," Ethan said warmly. "I'll get started right away." As Ethan worked, Sophia lingered nearby, watching him with quiet curiosity. She noticed how meticulous he was, double-checking every connection and tightening bolts with care. Most mechanics she'd encountered in the past had tried to upsell her on unnecessary repairs or rushed through jobs without much thought. But Ethan seemed different: genuine, thorough, and honest. At one point, she approached him while he was halfway through the repair. "How much will this cost?" she asked cautiously, expecting a hefty bill given the car's value. Ethan glanced up, wiping sweat from his forehead. "The part itself isn't cheap, but I won't charge extra labor since it's a straightforward fix. And don't worry, I'm not going to suggest anything you don't need." Sophia raised an eyebrow, surprised by his transparency. "That's refreshing. Most people would see this car and assume they could charge whatever they wanted." "I'm not most people," Ethan said simply, returning to his work. His honesty left a deep impression on Sophia. In her world of high-stakes deals and polished facades, sincerity was rare and often undervalued. Yet here was a man who treated her expensive car with the same respect and care he'd give to any other vehicle, regardless of its worth. By late afternoon, Ethan finished the repair and closed the hood with a satisfied nod. He motioned for Sophia to join him as he explained the work he'd done. "All set," he said, handing her the keys. "Take it for a spin around the block to make sure everything feels okay." Sophia climbed into the driver's seat and started the engine, listening closely for any lingering issues. To her relief, the car purred smoothly, free of the earlier noise. Satisfied, she stepped out and handed Ethan a credit card. "Here," she said, "and please don't hesitate to charge me fairly. It's clear you put a lot of effort into this." Ethan processed the payment quickly, ensuring the amount reflected only the actual cost of parts and labor. When he returned the receipt, Sophia studied it briefly before looking up at him. "You didn't overcharge me," she remarked, almost amused. "Most people wouldn't have been so fair." "It's not about the money," Ethan replied modestly. "Just glad I could help." Sophia smiled, clearly impressed. There was something about his humility and dedication that stood out sharply against the greed and shortcuts she often encountered in her line of work. Before getting back into her car, she hesitated, then turned to face him again. "Tell you what," she said thoughtfully. "How about you join me for a quick drive? I'd like to hear more about what you do, and maybe return the favor for your honesty today." Ethan blinked, caught off guard by the unexpected invitation. "A drive? Sure, I guess, if you're sure you want company." "I insist," Sophia replied firmly, gesturing toward the passenger seat. Still unsure but intrigued, Ethan climbed into the luxurious interior of the car, feeling slightly out of place among the leather seats and advanced dashboard controls. As Sophia pulled out of the driveway, he braced himself for whatever might come next. The luxury car glided smoothly along the quiet country roads surrounding Ethan's garage. At first, the silence between them felt heavy. Sophia focused on driving while Ethan sat stiffly in the passenger seat, unsure of what to say or do. Finally, Sophia broke the ice. "So, how long have you been a mechanic?" Ethan relaxed slightly, grateful for the opening. "Most of my life. My dad taught me when I was a kid, and I've been fixing cars ever since." "That's impressive," Sophia said, glancing at him briefly before returning her focus to the road. "Not everyone has that kind of dedication or skill." "Thanks," Ethan replied modestly. "It's just something I'm good at. Helps pay the bills, you know?" Sophia nodded thoughtfully. "Still, it takes more than talent to run your own garage. You must work hard." "You could say that," Ethan admitted with a small laugh. "Things haven't been easy lately, but we're getting by." His honesty struck a chord with Sophia. She had spent years climbing the corporate ladder, sacrificing personal relationships and peace of mind for success. Yet here was someone who worked tirelessly not for fame or fortune, but simply to provide for his family. "What about you?" Ethan asked after a pause, gesturing toward the dashboard. "This car doesn't exactly scream casual driver." "What do you do?" "I'm a CEO," Sophia replied matter-of-factly. "Run a tech company in the city." Ethan's eyes widened slightly. "Wow, that's big. Must be pretty stressful, though." "It is," Sophia admitted, her tone softening. "Long hours, constant pressure. It's rewarding, but it comes at a cost." They lapsed into silence again, but this time it wasn't uncomfortable. Instead, it felt reflective, a shared understanding passing between two people from vastly different worlds. As they drove through picturesque landscapes dotted with farms and forests, their conversation deepened. Sophia asked about Ethan's family, his dreams, and the challenges he faced running his garage. In turn, Ethan listened intently as Sophia opened up about her struggles balancing ambition with personal fulfillment. "It sounds like you love what you do," Sophia remarked after Ethan described the satisfaction of solving tough mechanical problems. "That's rare these days." "I guess so," Ethan said, shrugging. "But sometimes it feels like no matter how hard I work, it's never enough. Bills pile up faster than I can pay them." Sophia nodded sympathetically. "I know the feeling. When I started my company, there were days I wondered if I'd make it. But determination goes a long way, and so does believing in yourself." Her words resonated with Ethan, reminding him of why he kept pushing forward despite the odds. For years, he had doubted whether his efforts truly mattered. Now, sitting beside someone who understood struggle firsthand, he began to see his resilience in a new light. Eventually, Sophia pulled over near a scenic overlooking rolling hills bathed in golden sunlight. Turning off the engine, she turned to face Ethan. "I want to thank you again for fixing my car." "Sure, but also for being honest with me today. People like you are rare, Ethan. You remind me of qualities I value most: integrity, humility, and grit." Ethan chuckled nervously, brushing off the praise. "I'm just doing my job, ma'am. Nothing special." "It is special," Sophia countered firmly, "and I think you deserve more recognition for it." Before Ethan could respond, Sophia continued. "Here's an idea. I'm expanding my company's automotive division, focusing on sustainable vehicle technologies. We need someone reliable to lead the team, someone who knows cars inside and out. Would you consider joining us? Ethan stared at her, stunned. Me? Lead a team? I don't even have experience in tech or management. You don't need that, Sophia assured him. You have something better, practical expertise and leadership potential. Plus, we'll train you every step of the way. All you need is trust in yourself and in us. Her confidence in him was overwhelming, yet inspiring. For years, Ethan had doubted whether his skills translated beyond the garage. Now, here was someone telling him he was capable of far more than he imagined. I'll need some time to think about it, Ethan said finally, still processing the magnitude of the opportunity. Take all the time you need, Sophia replied kindly. Just remember, this isn't charity. It's an investment in someone who deserves it. As they drove back to the garage, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that his life was about to change forever, and for the first time in years, he allowed himself to hope. Over the next few days, Ethan wrestled with Sophia's offer. On one hand, it was an incredible opportunity, a chance to provide stability for his family and step out of the financial struggles that had weighed him down for years. On the other hand, accepting felt daunting. Leading a team in a corporate setting? Working with cutting-edge technology he barely understood? It seemed like a world far removed from the grease-stained garage where he'd spent most of his life. His wife, Maria, noticed his hesitation during dinner one evening. "You've been quiet all week," she said gently, watching him push food around his plate. "What's on your mind?" "It's Sophia, the CEO whose car I fixed," Ethan admitted, setting down his fork. "She offered me a job at her company, leading a team in their automotive division." Maria's eyes widened in surprise. "That's amazing. Why are you hesitating?" "I don't know if I'm qualified," Ethan confessed, rubbing his temples. "I'm just a mechanic, Maria. What do I know about running meetings or managing people?" "You're selling yourself short," Maria replied firmly. "You've led our family through tough times. You already know how to take care of people. And as for the rest, they'll train you. This is your chance to grow, Ethan. Don't let fear hold you back." Her words struck a chord deep within him. Maria was right. He owed it to himself and his family to at least consider the opportunity. The following morning, Ethan called Sophia to discuss the offer further. To his relief, she didn't pressure him into making a quick decision. Instead, she invited him to visit her company's headquarters to see firsthand what the role would entail. "This isn't just about hiring someone," Sophia explained as they walked through sleek office halls filled with bustling employees. "It's about building trust with me, with my team, and with the vision we're trying to create." Ethan nodded, absorbing the scale of her operation. Engineers worked on advanced prototypes, designers sketched blueprints for eco-friendly vehicles, and teams collaborated on projects blending sustainability with innovation. Though unfamiliar with much of the technology, Ethan recognized the principles behind it: engines, mechanics, and moving parts. With training and practice, he knew he could adapt. "What kind of support would I have?" he asked cautiously. "We'd pair you with experienced engineers who understand the tech inside and out," Sophia replied. "They'll teach you everything you need to know, and once you're comfortable, you'll take the lead." Her reassurance eased some of his doubts, but it was her final words that sealed the deal. "You won't be alone in this, Ethan. We're a team here, and I believe in you." A week later, Ethan officially accepted Sophia's offer. His first day at the company was overwhelming yet exhilarating. Employees greeted him warmly, eager to help him settle in. Sophia introduced him to Rachel, a seasoned engineer who agreed to mentor him. "Don't worry," Rachel said with a grin as they reviewed schematics together. "You'll get the hang of it. Start small, learn the basics, then build from there." Ethan appreciated Rachel's patience, soaking up every piece of advice he could. Over time, he began tackling minor tasks independently, gradually gaining confidence in his abilities. Sophia checked in regularly, always offering encouragement without micromanaging. "How's it going?" she asked one afternoon as Ethan studied a prototype engine. "Better than I expected," Ethan admitted, smiling faintly. "I've still got a lot to learn, but It feels good to be part of something bigger. That's the spirit, Sophia replied, patting his shoulder. And remember, you're not just fixing machines. You're helping shape the future of transportation for everyone. Her words reminded Ethan of why he loved being a mechanic in the first place, to solve problems and make life easier for others. As weeks turned into months, Ethan's role expanded beyond repairs. He implemented preventive maintenance schedules, reducing breakdowns and saving the company significant costs. His attention to detail and willingness to innovate earned him respect among the workers, many of whom came to rely on him not just as a technician but as a problem solver and leader. Sophia watched proudly as Ethan thrived, realizing how much his presence strengthened the company's operations. Machines ran more efficiently, downtime decreased, and morale improved, all thanks to his efforts. One evening, as they stood together overlooking the production floor bathed in soft fluorescent light, Sophia turned to Ethan with a thoughtful expression. "You've done wonders here," she said softly. "Not just for the company, but for everyone involved. I couldn't have done it without your trust or Rachel's guidance," Ethan replied humbly. "And we couldn't have done it without your hard work and dedication," Sophia countered firmly. "This is proof that when people come together, amazing things happen." Through their partnership, Ethan and Sophia proved that success wasn't about individual achievement. It was about collaboration, mutual respect, and shared goals. Together, they transformed challenges into opportunities, proving that kindness and hard work could create lasting change for themselves and those around them. As Ethan settled into his new role at Sophia's company, his impact became undeniable. What started as a leap of faith evolved into a vital leadership position that kept the automotive division running smoothly. His ability to diagnose problems quickly and implement practical solutions saved time and resources, allowing the team to focus on innovation rather than troubleshooting. Sophia often marveled at how seamlessly Ethan fit into the fabric of the company. Not only did he excel at managing projects, but he also fostered a sense of teamwork among the staff. Engineers who had once been hesitant to approach him now sought his advice on everything from design flaws to efficiency improvements. "You're more than just our leader," Rachel joked one afternoon as they worked side by side. "You're like the glue holding this place together." Ethan laughed, brushing off the compliment. "I'm just doing my part. Everyone here works hard. It's not just me." But deep down, he knew Rachel was right. For the first time in years, Ethan felt valued not just for what he could fix, but for who he was. The company wasn't just a workplace. It was a community where people supported one another, and he was proud to be part of it. Sophia, too, found herself growing alongside Ethan. Watching him succeed reminded her of why she had built the company in the first place. Not for profit alone, but to create opportunities for others. Inspired by his dedication, she began expanding initiatives aimed at sustainability and community outreach. For example, she partnered with local schools to introduce STEM programs focused on green technology, ensuring that young minds were inspired to innovate responsibly. She also introduced mentorship programs within the company, pairing seasoned employees with newcomers eager to learn. "None of this would have happened without you," Sophia told Ethan one evening as they reviewed plans for a new electric vehicle prototype. "Your work inspired me to think bigger, to focus on giving back instead of just growing the business." Ethan shook his head modestly. "You were already doing great things long before I came along. I'm just lucky to be part of it now." Their partnership extended beyond the production floor. As Ethan gained confidence, he began mentoring younger workers, teaching them the basics of mechanics and sharing tips he'd learned over the years. To Sophia's delight, many of these workers showed promise, eager to follow in Ethan's footsteps. "It's like you're building a legacy here," Sophia remarked one afternoon as they watched Ethan guide a trainee through a repair task. "I hadn't thought about it like that," Ethan admitted, smiling faintly. "But if I can help someone else succeed, then maybe all this hard work means something even bigger." Sophia nodded, her eyes shining with pride. "That's exactly what it does. Legacy isn't about wealth or fame. It's about lifting others up so they can shine too." The company flourished under their combined efforts. With Ethan maintaining equipment and leading teams, and Sophia overseeing operations, productivity soared. Prototypes yielded groundbreaking results, and profits increased significantly. But more importantly, the company became known not just for its innovations but for its commitment to integrity and compassion. Local newspapers featured stories about the company's success, highlighting how Sophia and Ethan worked together to create opportunities for others. Customers began seeking out their products not just for their quality, but because they wanted to support a business rooted in kindness and integrity. One day, while attending a tech expo where the company's vehicles were showcased, Ethan overheard a customer praising their mission. "They care about people," the man said to his friend. "It's not just about selling cars. It's about making lives better." Ethan smiled to himself, feeling a surge of fulfillment. This was the kind of impact he had always hoped to make, but never imagined possible. Through it all, Ethan and Sophia remained grounded, refusing to let success inflate their egos. They continued working side by side, tackling challenges and celebrating victories together. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, built on mutual respect and shared values. "We make a good team," Sophia remarked one evening as they stood on the rooftop overlooking the city skyline. "The best," Ethan agreed, raising his glass in a toast. "Here's to many more seasons of success, and plenty of ideas worth chasing." They laughed, clinking their glasses together as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the city in hues of orange and pink. Years passed, and Ethan's life transformed in ways he never thought possible. The steady income from the company allowed him to provide better for his family, paying off debts, fixing up their home, and even saving enough to send his kids to college. But beyond material gains, Ethan found fulfillment in knowing his work mattered, not just to Sophia's company, but to the entire community. Sophia, too, experienced a profound shift in her perspective. Through Ethan, she rediscovered the joy of connecting with people on a personal level. Her decision to hire him wasn't just an investment in the company. It was a reminder that small acts of kindness could ripple outward, creating opportunities for growth and change. Together, they became pillars of the organization, respected not only for their achievements but also for their humility and generosity. One crisp autumn morning, Sophia invited Ethan to join her for coffee on the rooftop garden of the company headquarters. As they sipped steaming mugs while watching the sunrise bathe the city in golden light, Sophia turned to him with a reflective smile. "Do you ever think about how far we've come?" she asked softly. "From that repair job to all this." "All the time," Ethan admitted, gesturing toward the bustling streets below. "I still can't believe it sometimes. You took a chance on me when no one else would, and look where it led. And you reminded me why I started this company in the first place," Sophia replied warmly. "To make a difference. For my team, for customers, for the world. Together, we've done more than either of us could have alone." Ethan nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. Though their backgrounds were vastly different, they had formed a partnership rooted in trust, hard work, and shared purpose. Later that year, Sophia announced plans to expand the company further, introducing sustainable practices aimed at protecting the environment for future generations. She credited much of the initiative's success to Ethan, whose innovations in machinery maintenance helped reduce waste and conserve resources. "You're leaving a legacy here," Sophia told him during a meeting with the team. "Not just through your skills, but through your heart. This company will thrive long after we're gone because of people like you." Ethan blushed, uncomfortable with the praise but touched by her sincerity. "It's not just me, Sophia. It's everyone who works here. All of us working together." "That's true," Sophia agreed, smiling fondly. "But don't underestimate the power of leading by example. You inspire others every day without even realizing it." As the years went on, Ethan continued mentoring young workers, passing along the lessons he'd learned throughout his journey. Many of them went on to start their own projects or pursue careers in engineering, carrying forward the values Ethan embodied: perseverance, compassion, and integrity. Sophia, meanwhile, focused on giving back in other ways. She established scholarships for students interested in mechanics and technology, ensuring that opportunities like Ethan's were available to others facing similar struggles. "Our lives are richer because of what we've built together," Sophia said during a ceremony honoring local innovators. But true wealth isn't measured by what we keep. It's measured by what we share. Her words resonated deeply with those in attendance, including Ethan, who stood proudly beside her as applause filled the room. Eventually, Ethan's children grew up and moved away, pursuing dreams of their own. Yet whenever they visited, they marveled at how much their father had accomplished and how much he had given back to the world. "You changed everything for us, Dad," his daughter said one evening during a family dinner. "Not just financially, but by showing us what it means to care about others." "I didn't do it alone," Ethan replied humbly, glancing at Sophia sitting across the table. "Sometimes, all it takes is one person believing in you to set everything in motion." Sophia smiled, raising her glass in a toast. "To kindness, to hard work, and to friendships that last a lifetime." Everyone joined in, clinking glasses as laughter and warmth filled the room. Looking back on their journey, Ethan and Sophia realized they had created something far greater than either of them could have imagined. A thriving company, a supportive community, and a bond that transcended differences. Their story served as a testament to the power of compassion and collaboration to transform lives. Not just theirs, but countless others. Because sometimes the smallest gestures, like fixing a luxury car or offering a ride, can lead to extraordinary outcomes. And in the end, it's not about wealth or fame. It's about the connections we forge and the legacies we leave behind. If Ethan and Sophia's story inspired you, share it with others. Let us know in the comments. How has kindness or teamwork impacted your life? Your stories inspire us to keep creating tales that matter.